Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a scorpion. I tried to make it cute. I'm not sure it was cute or not, but it's definitely not realistic. So this one's from the Facebook Live I did a few weeks ago, and I'm going to be using some black Saracino modeling paste for this one. It comes in different sizes. It is available on my website, guys, but I'll put links below the video to everything that I've used so that you can find it if you want the same stuff. Okay, so we're going to start with about 21 grams of paste. You can go bigger or smaller. It's entirely up to you. And we're going to use some sort of sprinkles, some sugar pearls for the eyes. These particular ones are chocolate filled. So we're going to start with a ball, and I'm going to press in slightly near the top for the eye sockets. Now I think scorpions have quite a few eyes, but they're much smaller than what I've made them on here. So these ones are, I want to say they're about 8 mil. I don't think they're as big as 10 mil. I found them in the pack of sprinkles anyway. I think the chocolate in the middle. I'm just going to push those in deep for the eyes. And then if I want it to look like it's frowning, I'm just going to pull down a little bit above each eye. So can you see it brings the modeling paste just down a little bit like that. So we can have it frowning, or we can have like one brow raised by pushing up like that. Then I'm going to just push up under kind of each cheekbone, which is going to change the shape of the face a little bit. But that's fine. The other face I just made before the Facebook Live, just so I had something to kind of look at for an idea. Let's give him some eye bags. So let's do some little lines under the eyes. So like I say, we're not going realistic at all on this one, guys. I'm going to put some slight indentations in where I want the other eyes to go. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of water in there just to hold it in place. And then I've got some slightly smaller sugar pearls. These were just in the same pack of sprinkles as well. I've gone for the white ones, but you could use different colours for the eyes. And then let's add some more as well. So 2 on each cheek. You can try and kind of lift so that you get a brow area above. I'm not sure that worked or not. Now guys, if you want to see it in more detail, or you want this the speed I actually made it, the Facebook Live that I did is still over on my Facebook page, which is just Zoe's Fancy Cakes. There's a live section at the top, or a tab called live, and you can watch any of the lives that I've done back in there. So let's press down on the mouth area and let's cut kind of 2 lines in here, or 3 lines even. And this bit here, so the 2 small pieces, we're going to fold backwards. I'm just going to tuck it around the back of the head. You can cut it off, but I'm not going to see the back of the head, so it's fine tucked around there. And then we're pulling each of kind of the pointy bits in and around to create the little, I don't know if the pincers or what they are. I should really learn about the anatomy of these things that I make. Then we're going to just draw on some pupils. I'm using a black edible pen. Again, I'll put links below, guys, to where you can find everything on my online shop for this stuff. And we're just drawing those pupils on each eye that we've got on there. Try and leave some little white areas so that it looks like a little highlight of kind of light shining in the eye. And now let's take 35 grams of paste. Remember, you can go bigger or smaller. And we're going to roll it for our body. I'm going to try and do this on my little mini turntable because it's easier for me to move it around. Okay, so we've got kind of like a long egg shape, and then we're pressing the side of the knife into the body. I'll try and make like a bit of a V shape, and we'll do it again a little bit further up. And again, I think we'll just get 3 lines in. So we're going to lay it down like that. I'm just going to press it a little bit up, sort of between each finger, so we get a bit of a ridge going up the middle of its back. And we'll try and do the same on the sides if we can. And let's give it some like little warty skin bits. I'm sure they don't have warts, but some of them have, like, some of them are really smooth when I was looking at pictures, and some of them had like texture. But these little dots are what I'm going to do on this one. So I'm just pressing down the end a little bit, ready for the head to kind of sit on that bit. And we're going to have to put some wire inside. So I'm using some florist wire. So we're kind of making a little hook shape. I'm just going to trim it off here. This bit that I'm leaving at the bottom is just going to be the depth of the polystyrene that I'm putting it in, just while I make it to hold it upright. You can trim this wire off the bottom once you've finished it and you've removed it at a later date. So we're putting a little slit in the bottom of our body. It doesn't have to go all the way, just halfway up the body. And this is going to go onto our wire here. It's maybe a bit long, so we're just going to trim this tail up here. Maybe even a bit more. And then we're going to roll some small balls, and we're going to make them a little bit more oval shape, and we're going to slot them onto the tail itself. Let's just add a bit of water where it's going to connect with the body. Sorry guys, my hands are in shot quite a bit in this, aren't they? You can't really see what I'm doing because my hands are in the way. Give it a bit of a press against the body so that it does stick. Try not to squash the shape too much. It will squash a little bit. And we're going to keep doing this. All the same shaped pieces. You can get a little bit smaller if you want as you go up. When I was looking at pictures, they was all like different sizes and shapes, the bits on the scorpion's tail. So this one's just cartoony. Then we're going to go for a nice teardrop with a nice point. Let's just bend the point slightly. And this is going to be the end of our tail. So let's push that onto the end of the wire. Now, I don't think it shows very well on camera, but I wanted to add a bit of a shimmer to the body. So I used this luster dust. I think it was a hint of green or superl green or something it's called. I'll put a link below the video. It shows actually a lot more in person than what it does on the video, and it just gives it a bit of a sheen and a slight hint of green. Makes it a bit pearlescent. Okay, for the legs, we're going to roll some paste nice and thin. You'll see I've already attached them on here. You can watch more of this on the Facebook Live version. So we're going to go nice and thin, and then we're going to put 2 indentations along the leg. And these are going to be the little bends or joints in the leg. So they want to be quite thin so we can bend them and kind of press a bit of an angle on them. In fact, let's just add another little one here so the foot can kind of bend back on itself. Apologies if you can hear the dog snoring in the background. So you're going to add a little bit of water to the end of that, and we're going to press it firmly against the body and try and sort of lift it into the position that you want it to stay. These will firm up. They'll just be a little bit soft when we first add them on. So let's make it some little pincers. So we'll roll 2 little ovals. We're going to squish them down a bit, and we're going to put a cut in each side, so really quite far to the side. I'm just going to kind of press it, thin it out a little bit with my hands so it comes to more of a point. And I think on each different type of scorpion, they look kind of quite different anyway, so whether they're large or small. So go with whatever you fancy for this cartoony one. We'll add a couple of those little balls on as well, little dots. And then I'm just pressing in slightly with my dresden tool so that we get kind of more I don't know what you call it. I'm going to call it a hooked, jagged edge on the edge of those pincers. So we're going to stick them to the body. We're going to add a couple of small balls first, squished on near the front of the body. Then let's roll some arms. So let's roll 2 pieces, flatten them slightly, and I'm going to put a line across each one and then another line. So kind of marking a little triangle in the middle. I should have probably just simplified this even more. I'm not sure I like the arms on this one very much. So I'm just pressing in lightly at the edge so it kind of flicks out a little bit again. So we get a bit of a jaggedy edge there. We're going to bend them slightly, and we're going to add a couple of those little balls for the little kind of 3D dots on those arms. Now, you don't have to add wire into these, but you might find that if you want them to kind of stay up away from the work surface, that you have to add a wire to hold them in place. I'm going to add the wire just to strengthen it as well. It's got wire in the tail, so I'm going to tell people not to eat this one because of the wire in the tail, so I might as well add a wire into the arms as well. Like I say, if you've got more time, you could do it without all these wires. You just need to be able to leave it to rest against things to dry and harden without a wire in. It just speeds things up a bit for me when I use wires, especially in Facebook Lives where I have a limited amount of time to make these things. So we're just going to push on the little pincers, claws, I'm not sure which they are. And then let's dust this with the same iridescent dust that we did on the body to give it a bit of a pearlized, slightly greenish tinge. We can do this on the legs as well, but I need the legs to set firm before I put this on the legs. See, they're a little bit soft at the moment. So let's press a piece of paste onto the top of the body where we want to stick the head. Just make sure it's got plenty of glue or water on so it's nice and sticky. Let's dust up the head so it's got the same kind of luster, pearlized sheen on as the body. And let's push that onto the piece of paste that we've just wet on the end of the body. Give it a good firm press in place. So I think it just needs a bit more of a shine, so I am going to cover him in a glaze. So this is an edible glaze that I'm using, and I'm just going to paint him all over in it. I probably won't put it on his eyes because I don't want to smudge the black pen that we drew in for the pupils. I'm going to paint it on everywhere else. You will find it dries slightly duller than it looks at the moment, so you can give it a couple of coats if you want. So there he is, all done. I hope you've enjoyed the scorpion. Don't forget you can catch my next Facebook Live on Monday morning. I do them each Monday, or usually most Mondays, over on my Facebook page, Zoe's Fancy Cakes. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. If
you like the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.